What's good? It's your boy Lil Narnia, aka Draco Throat. You know what the fuck going on. Shout out Internet Hippy. Basically, it's kind of a long story. My homie had a girlfriend who had a cat and she lived at his house, and the cat got pregnant, and then she ended up like leaving him, and she left her cat at his house. And so he like wasn't gonna just leave this cat and like put it outside and shit. So he took care of it, and then I told him, I was like, yo, I want one of those cats. And then so I saw them be born and shit, and then I came the morning after they were born actually, and I met them all. But so I got like this orange one, and it just looks like a lion. And one day we were smoking a blunt, and he was just like, you should name your shit Lil Narnia. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And then I just I don't know, I just kind of went with it. But so the main like reasoning for it is like just because my cat. So I'm from Barstow. It's like a fucking desert town like halfway between Vegas and LA. It's literally like the pit stop on the way to Vegas, and there's just this super fire Del Taco there, and like I know Del Taco fucking sucks, but like there it's so different. Like everywhere else is like franchise and shit, and like the original Del Taco in Barstow is so fire. Like it's the only reason to stop. Like get that shit. It's so good. Like it's fire. But that's literally what my town is known for and shit. Like it's just a small desert town. It's pretty shitty, but the people are cool and stuff. So my first like CD ever was from my brother. It was like I basically like jocked him on the CD too. It was like a Simple Plan, like no pads, no helmets, just balls. And I just like fell in love with that shit. I was like writing fucking Simple Plan songs, like literally like Simple Plan rips when I was like fucking like 9 or 10. Like it was fucking weird. I remember like singing that shit, like not to like my family and shit, but like low key. I'd be singing that shit like all around. But so Simple Plan was like probably my first like big band that I got into, and then I got into like fucking like My Chem and like Take Me Back Sunday and like all that shit. But then I got super into like fucking butt rock, like dad rock kind of shit, but like new metal type shit too, like Papa Roach, fucking like Breaking Benjamin and like all that kind of shit. And then from there I got into like post-hardcore, like when I started growing up and shit. So I was super into like fucking, it was when like Devil Wears Prada and all that shit was like popping off. And shit was badass. And I heard like I Set My Friends on Fire, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this shit's badass. And so I got into that, and like all my homies were bumping like super metal shit too. Like I remember my homie in like 6th grade was listening to like Cradle of Filth and shit. So it was just a weird transition into like the singing shit, the screaming. And then from there I got into like rap, like a lot. I fucked with like super like old ass like 90s type shit, like Helta Skelta and like fucking Immortal Technique and like Apathy and like Demigods and all that shit. And fucking so I had like a weird like rap thing, and then like just like weird like emo shit, like Greaves and stuff like that. But it was like weird like cringy emo rap kind of stuff, but not like how it means now. Like literally like fucking old school 90s bars about like being sad. Like it was weird. But fucking and then I got into like, I don't even know like the transition anymore, honestly. I got into like pop punk shit along the way too, and that's like my whole thing pretty much. I got super into like fucking it started like that too, cause Simple Plan, but like I don't know, like Crucial Dudes and like all that kind of shit, like towards later 2010 was like fucking my favorite shit, and that's like where all my sound comes from pretty much. But so I'm just like a weird fusion of like pop punk with like fucking old hip hop shit, and also with just like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just a fusion of shit basically. It's funny because when I fucking was growing up, I worked at like this ice cream shop called Foster's Freeze, and we fucking couldn't have a beard. So like literally like almost my entire high school career, like I didn't have a beard or anything. Like, but I could grow the shit. But I just had like a mustache. Like I looked fucked up. I looked like a fucking weird ass like pedophile or some shit. Like literally it was fucked up. But so I worked at Foster's Freeze. I couldn't have a beard. I just had a weird like long mustache, kind of how I do now, but like literally just no beard. It was weird. But so I just kind of grew my shit out. Once I quit there, I was like, I'm gonna just grow this shit out. Like fuck all that. And so yeah, I just like grew it out and fucking, it's cool. I don't know. I'll trim it eventually. Whatever. We'll see what happens. I'm literally like fucking just like shouting. Like it's just like a pop punk yell. Like I don't know, like I kind of want to do it so you can hear me, because you never heard me do this shit live before, but like it's not like wishing you, it's not like that, it's like wishing you were the, like it's super loud, it's not falsetto. You know what I mean? But fucking But yeah, so that shit's cool. I mean, I just really, I was a vocalist for a hardcore band for a minute, and I would scream and shit, and I would never, I don't know, I would always sing and shit, like, by myself, but I would never, like, do it in front of people, and then fucking, like, our hardcore band broke up, and I was like, I want to make pop punk shit, and so my, the guitarist of our band, fucking Taylor, who's, like, Lil Thui's and shit, we just, like, started making pop punk, like, hip-hop shit, and then I was like, well, I could, like, kind of do this weird, like, sing-yell thing, so, like, I'm gonna try that. And then fucking, that's just kind of what happened. It's like where I figured out what I was doing. When I first came out, it was like end of 2016, and I had like a couple bangers on my homie's profile, and then we had like a falling out fucking thing, so I made my own profile. And so all those songs, like, I had basically a release that wasn't like titled as a release. All those songs were like a part of a release, but I just dropped them separately on his profile. And then, so when I made my own profile, I was like, alright, like, I'm gonna make this EP and shit, because I think of everything in terms of like projects, like literally how like an artist or like band would, like, I'm making like a thing, like a solid piece of work. I'm not just like dropping a song to like drop a song. I don't know, that's just the way my brain works. But so everything I make is like a part of a project, like literally everything. But so Fingers Crossed was my first EP, and that shit was, it was cool. I actually had to quit smoking weed for like 4 months, and that was kind of when I like got my shit together and I like figured out what I was doing. And then I made that, and it was cool because I made that, and I got to like, a bunch of shit came from that, basically. It was like, it's probably my favorite thing I'll ever make, like that project, even though it's like not the best like quality wise, but like some of them are really good. But so basically I made these tracks, and then I had this EP ready, and I was like, fuck, like, I don't know what I'm gonna name this shit. So, and I really like, I'm super into like art of shit, like like almost all the people I follow on fucking Twitter and Instagram are like artists that just like draw shit from different countries, like fucking Russia or like Japan or like wherever. And so I hit up this girl who was like, she I don't know what the fuck to say for this part. So I hit up this girl, just to, like, draw my shit. She's like a famous artist or whatever. And then so she drew it, and then she like gave it to me, and then I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna name it, basically. And she drew it and like captioned it like Fingers Crossed. And I was like, wow, that makes like hella sense. Like, that works so perfectly with what I'm trying to do, because I had no idea what the fuck I was gonna name it. And so it actually comes from like her caption of the picture. So it's like kind of cool. I don't know, it's a weird like thing. But yeah, so that's how that happened. Things in Pain was like super weird to me, because my whole shit has been rooted in being like pop punk, like guitars and shit. So Things in Pain, basically, I actually had that EP made before I dropped Fingers Crossed, but it was completely different. There was probably like 3 tracks of the final product that were actually on it. But so I was making like weird electronic shit, basically, with just like not guitar shit, just like weird electronic beats. And I was like, this isn't what I want to like drop first on my own profile, because like I knew people didn't know what the fuck I was doing or anything, so that would have became like my signature sound. So I was like, no, I'll wait on that. But so I dropped Fingers Crossed, and then Things in Pain, I had like 2 separate EPs, basically, and then I just kind of combined them, and they were both like weird like electronic shit. That EP is like super experimental. Like, it fucking, I don't know, I was surprised that people liked it. Like, to be honest, it's super weird, but I don't know, it's like weird in a good way, I guess, because like people like it for some reason. So I think it's cool. But yeah, it was a weird. Like, I've never done anything like any of the songs on there except maybe like the first one, and because I literally have like a drum and bass like pop punk fucking song on there, and then like I have one more like rap and shit. And like I did a song with Lily Frank. It's like my favorite fucking rapper ever. Yeah, that's like pretty much it. It was cool. It was definitely a weird release, but I love it. So. It's funny because I'm a percussionist, like, I'm literally a music major at fucking school and shit, but I've never been a drummer in any of my bands ever. Like, every band I've ever been in, I was a vocalist. So, just like coming up out of high school and shit, when I was like 13, 14, we always had like bands or whatever, and we'd like play little shows and shit, but we were always looking up to like the bigger fools, and then so we would always change our names and shit a lot, but probably the biggest one was like, Turnaround was our name, and it was just like, just a fucking like hardcore type shit. Like, we recorded with Taylor Young from fucking Twitching Tongues for like our EP, and then we just like played shows and shit, and then we just kind of like broke up. But we had a bunch of bands before that, but like it just kept switching names and stuff, so it's not even like important. But Turnaround was like what we were doing for a little while, so that was cool. All the people that I fucking frequently like have features with and shit, it's mainly just because they're like my fucking real ass friends, like in real life, and like I fuck with their music obviously. But so like Thui was basically we were both in a hardcore band, and then we started making the shit together, And so that fool was like my best friend. We were like for a long time. We fucking made like all my songs were like made at his house, and like I would go over there to record them and shit. And then Saphir is like fucking one of my best friends in the scene right now. I just be like, I met her like a year ago, and it was weird because I used to listen to her actually before I fucking met her. Like I remember that fool Taylor showed me like the Ashes to Ashes song she has with Tracy. And I was like, this is fire as fuck. Because they sample, I was fucking mad, dude. Because they sample Fly by Hilary Duff. And I had tried to sample that for a beat, and I just fucking couldn't make it. And like, this is like, Nadar fucking killed it, obviously. But I was just like, fuck, dude, like, that's so hard. And so I fucked with it like super hard. Because I love like Hilary Duff, and like, I don't know, I have a weird appreciation for like girly shit because of my sisters. Like, growing up, I'm the youngest of like my whole family. So my 2 sisters were kind of in charge of everything. Like, they would always be fucking playing shit on the TV, and like, they would just be in control pretty much of what was going on in the house. And so like, I was just a little ass kid, and they'd be playing like Lizzie McGuire and like fucking like I'm drawing a blank, but like all that kind of like Disney shit I love. And like, that's why I love like Ali and AJ and like fucking and like Michelle Branch type shit. I think when people see me live, they kind of get my like the culmination of like styles that I'm talking about, because like I kind of like rap a lot during my live sets. Like, I usually sing the hooks like full like singing, and then I usually kind of like, I don't rap the verses, but it's like it's like I'm lower like spitting it more. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, I feel like people really understand what like my shit is when they see me live. It's definitely different, but it's cool. One of the like the biggest differences, I guess, is like you kind of, I don't know, you could play me a song and I could like play real quick and I'll know what key it's in, type thing, whereas like other people have to like search through each key to like hear which one sounds right, type stuff. And just in general, like knowing theory, you just understand like what's going on music, like critically like understand the structure of the notes and how they relate to each other, and like the chord progressions and the melodic phrasing, what's going on. Because most of this shit, you know, in reality of my style at least, is like one main melody going, you know. I mean, a lot of people have harmonies and stuff, but like I personally don't have a lot of harmonies in mine at all. So just understanding, you know, what a 1 to 5 chord progression is, which is just like the basis of all Western music, and just knowing how like what certain chord changes will make you feel or what they sound like, you know, resolving dissonances and stuff, and just, you know, if it's in a minor or major key, just like basic things that just help you understand the music and what you're doing. But it's funny because some people actually kind of function better because they don't know that stuff. Like, sometimes when you know about something, you kind of realize how much you don't know. So like people that are just kind of, it's like, what's the saying? God, I'm fucking faded right now. It's like, ignorance is bliss, basically. If you just kind of make something that feels good and you're just doing it, sometimes it'll come out better than a guy that sat there and analyzed it for fucking, you know, 6 months to write out this crazy thing. So it's cool. It's just a different way of thinking about stuff. Yeah, so shout out Baby Flex Films. It's my man. That's the homie. I have a weird story for how I met him. I'll tell him a bit. But so Her Heart, basically, we had linked and did a video with Local Zero for my other song, and then that's how I met Greg. And then I was like, yeah, we got to do a video for the song. And then he was like, yeah, I'm down. And so I whipped out to San Marcos, and he like delivers flowers. That's fucking hilarious, actually. I didn't even think about that, but he like delivers flowers. It was like part of his job. And he saw this like abandoned house type thing, kind of by the beach. And so he was like, yo, like there's a spot we could hit up. And I was like, for sure. So I whipped out there, and we spent like 3 days fucking filming the video. It was kind of funny. We were just like doing different shit and like trying to get people to like help us film it, pretty much. But yeah, it was cool. So I spent like 3 days filming that in San Marcos. Yeah, it was a cool spot. Like, it was funny because the lady came out and was like talking to us about this shit when we were like trying to film it. She was like, "Oh yeah, this is my property." Like, we're like, "Oh, like my bad." She was like, "No, you can use it." But it was just funny. And then we sent her the video and she like never said anything. But now it has like 300 fucking K. So it's just kind of funny. I think that's why I rap. Why my stuff is more in tune with like hip hop. Because if you think about it, rapping is literally just like a rhythm that's going. Like, you could literally play on a snare like the rhythm of whatever someone is rapping. Like, it's literally rap. And so That's why I think being a percussionist is why I really liked bars and like the flow of fucking shit, because I understood it. I played that shit, and but that's why it's kind of cool that I fuse it with melody stuff, because I don't know, hip hop. You know, I mean, there's obviously been melodies and stuff, but I feel like it's different now. It's really like I spit. You know, before you wouldn't hear like a verse that had like singing in it that was also rapping. But now it's like very common and stuff like that. So it's just cool to see it like all come together. But yeah, being a drummer is cool because you understand. You could just fit things better. Like you could just make not anything work. Like you have to cut words and stuff sometimes. But I have a really good understanding of like what fits where when I'm making like choices on which words to use and stuff like that. So I feel like that helps a lot. Shit. I just want to be able to like survive off making stuff that makes people happy, because I don't know, a lot of people like hit me up saying my shit means a lot to them, and that's like crazy to hear. Like to think that something you wrote like actually impacted someone's life is fucking crazy. Like I don't know, like recently someone got the Things in Pain album artwork blasted on their thigh, dude, like big as fuck, and that was the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like that's so much love, like it was crazy. But I don't know, yeah, I just want to be able to like, I hate saying I want to help people like cope with their life situations, because when I write a song, it's more like I'm trying to help myself, which is like really shitty to say. But literally, it's like me writing what I'm going through at the time, and it just happens to like people happen to resonate with what I'm going through. They're going through similar things, so that's why it's like really cool to hear that I actually help them by laying out my problems in the form of a song. It like helps someone else like resonate with that and find like resolutions to their problems. So that's probably my main goal, is to just keep doing that, and to a bigger audience, and also just be able to survive and like just keep making music the way I do.